shutdown to kill the economy. On November 3rd, vote for jobs, safety, lower taxes, a secure Second Amendment, and freedom. From a failing and corrupt political class that enriched itself while draining the economic life and soul from our country. I've been here for 47 years. Isn't it amazing? I do something, he says, oh, I would have done it. He's been here for 47 years. Now all of a sudden he says, oh, we should have done this. When I closed and put a ban on China coming and heavily infected, I saved thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of lives. He said, I was xenophobic, I shouldn't have done it. Months later, he agreed it was the right thing to do. Now he goes out, I should have done it sooner. And yet he didn't want me to do it months later. These people, I don't know how they get away with it. You know why? Because those people are more corrupt than anyone. And they ravaged our cities while sacrificing American blood and treasure in endless, ridiculous foreign wars in countries that you never even heard of. By the way, they're all coming back. They've been coming back. People don't like to hear it. People don't like to hear it. They're coming back rapidly. He's a servant of the wealthy donors, globalists, and special interests who got rich bleeding America dry and putting America last. As your president, I could have been the greatest fundraiser of all time. You know, you see these numbers that they raised 300 million. You know what? When they raise money, that's a deal. They're making deals. I would be the single greatest fundraiser in history. I'll call up the head of Goldman Sachs, I'll call up the head of all these Wall Street guys. Most of them I know enough about. I know too much. And I could call up, listen, do me a favor, will you give 10 million to my campaign? Yes, Mr. President. Would you give 20 million to yes, Mr. But you know, when you do that, you don't have to say anything. When they call you in 3 months, and they say, we need help with this or that or that, it's, you know, very hard. Like sort of almost morally, they did for you and you did for them. It doesn't have to be a deal. Or a quid pro quo, like he had with the $1 billion to get his son out of problems with the prosecutor. And they never ask him about that either. But I would be the greatest fundraiser of all time, but I don't like to do that because it puts us at a disadvantage. We never want to be at a disadvantage. So easy to think of it. The president calls, I'll give you whatever the hell I want. Decrepit political establishment, and you elected an outsider as president who is finally putting America first. Joe Biden is, and always has been, a corrupt politician. He always has been. And as far as I'm concerned, the Biden family is a criminal enterprise. It really is. It's a criminal. You know, I don't know what's going on with the Democrats. Democrats are a very powerful party, but it's not the Democrats, it's the Democrats plus the fake news media. And then it's also including big tech. Okay? Here it is. It's me. I'm all you have between your Second Amendment and chaos and all that. I love the Republicans, and we have some great, but they have to learn to stick together. You know, we have some stupid people. You know, we have some stupid people. Some of them are gone. Flake, Corker, they're gone. But now we have this guy Sass, who wants to make a statement. Little Ben Sass. The Republicans have to stick together. You don't see that. But one thing I respect about the Democrats, they stick together. You know what? They have lousy policy. They want open borders. They want sanctuary cities. They want a lot. They want to raise your tax. They want to quadruple your taxes. But the one thing is, they stick together. The Republicans have to learn. They got to stick together. I don't know why. By the way, it's been that way for decades. I don't know what the hell is in the blood. Could you explain that to me, please, Michael? What the hell is going on? It's been that way for many decades. I don't know. There's always a few. They want to make a statement. It's a bunch of women. Now I love them. They've been great. Hey, look, on the impeachment hoax, I couldn't do better. The 197 to nothing in the House, Republicans. And we even had the Democrat or two come and join us, right? That was an impeachment over a telephone call that was perfect. Other than that, think of that. But 197 to nothing. And with the Senate, 52 and a half to a half. Who was the half? I can't think of it. Oh, Biden couldn't think. He couldn't remember the name, right? He couldn't remember the name. Look, you know the guy from, I think he was a governor, I'm not sure. And now what, was he a senator? What's his name? Mitt Romney, that's not the whole. He didn't remember it, which I thought was insulting to Mitt Romney. I wouldn't insult Mitt Romney that way. But Biden couldn't remember his name. You know, they've only known each other for about 35 years. No, Biden is gone. Let's not kid ourselves. We want to be nice. Biden is gonzo. Can you imagine having Kamala? Most liberal member. Most liberal member. And I think that whole thing, that's why Nancy Pelosi's talking about the 25th Amendment. That's the real reason. They want to get him the hell out. The Bidens make crooked Hillary Clinton look like an absolute amateur. And she's pretty bad. And I do want to hear from law enforcement, why aren't they looking at, maybe they are, and I hope they are. You know, I try to stay out of it because I'm trying very hard to be so right down the middle. But why aren't they looking at the fact that she got a subpoena from the United States Congress for 33,000 emails? And she deleted every single one of them, and then acid washed. And then she pounded her telephones with a hammer. I've gotten rid of cell phones, and I throw them away, you know. Now I throw them into the Secret Service, okay, I give them back. But before this, I throw them away, I get a new one. She pounded the crap out of them with a hammer. How many people have gotten rid of their cell phones and pounded them to death with that? So I just want to know, why aren't they looking at that? Why aren't they looking at that? Why aren't they looking at Omar? Ilhan Omar. But the biggest of them all is Joe. He's corrupt. And they found the laptop. You know what they call that? The laptop from hell. That is a laptop. That's a laptop from hell. Let's see what happens with it. Let's see what happens with it. So a giant trove of emails show Hunter Biden making deals, setting up meetings with his father, Joe, and using the office of the vice president for a for-profit cash machine. That's what it is. This guy's a vacuum cleaner. He follows his father around and takes millions, hundreds of millions and millions of dollars out of these countries. I mean, that is so dishonest. That's so crooked. He is, I call him the human vacuum cleaner. You know those things on television? He's better than any one of them. Joe Biden said he knew nothing. But he lied, because I'm telling you, this laptop is a disaster. The fake news and big tech don't want to write about it, though. They don't want anything to do with it. And they punish it. And thank you to the New York Post. It's unbelievable what they're doing. You know, it's the fifth or fourth largest newspaper. So you call it the mainstream, not the mainstream, but the mainstream. But it's I guess the fourth largest. It's the oldest newspaper in the U.S. I think it was Alexander Hamilton founded it, right? And they should be very proud of what they're doing. Because the New York Times refuses to write about it. And the fake Washington Post, which is a total fake, you know, that's a lobbyist for Bezos and the group, okay, for Amazon. But he calls it the lobbyist. He must call it that. I call it the lobbyist, okay? You know, the Washington Post, you have a little man, it's a free lobbyist. Well, it's probably not a free one, it probably costs him a fortune, but he gives him what he needs, but it's fake. And if you look at NBC and MSDNC, right? And if you look at ABC, how about Stephanopoulos the other day? You know, he interviewed me 2 weeks ago. He gave me a tough interview, but I didn't consider it unfair, although it turned out the audience was stacked against me. There were some Trump people and some Biden people and some that, well, no, it didn't work out that way, did it? And actually, they were very nice, right? The one woman said how handsome I was. You know, the one woman, I'd rather have that. I'd rather have that than have her say you're a wonderful politician. The hell with that. I'd rather have her say, what's better than that, right, Michael? You're so handsome. You have such a big smile. But see, here's what happened with her. She was so nice, but she was supposed to be like, I think, a former Hillary supporter. But the way she said it to me was so nice. And then, after the show, and she said it right, did everyone say that? It was so lovely. And then after the show, she went rogue. I won't vote for him. In other words, she said, wait a minute, this isn't the deal here. What are you doing? I'm sure that the Democrats, together with their partner, ABC Television Network, said, what the hell happened with her? That's a terrible thing that she did. So I'm sure they hit her very hard, and she got back in line, okay? But I think, hopefully, her first statement was the statement she believed. He's a handsome man. See now, the fake news will say, President Trump went on a rant talking about how handsome he is. They don't understand. He went on a rant, it was a terrible thing. We don't think he's handsome. Actually, they think I must be the most unattractive human being there is. Except what they don't realize is without me, they will have ratings that will nosedive and go out of business, everyone. You know, I'm making this speech a little bit longer, then I'm looking at this crazy Nevada sun, and I'm sitting here with his white skin. Like, who the hell cares if I get a good sun? They don't want to write about or report on the scandal because they want Biden to win. You know, I've always said, in the end, they're going to all endorse me. Because if Biden wins, they're out of business. This is the most boring human being I've ever seen. But they want Biden to win so they can take over our country. Because they will take it over between big tech, Section 230, by the way. All right, go ahead. No. It'll be one of the great disasters. I'm telling you, depression. Just remember the word, and you know it. And California, are you from California? But I was with a wonderful reporter, I just spoke to him from the Washington Times, which is a really good newspaper, by the way. And he reported very strongly, the crowds were unbelievable. Unbelievable. And I don't know why we wouldn't in California. We're playing it a little bit. In theory, I tell Nancy Pelosi, come back to San Francisco and take care of your homelessness. The endless forest fires are endless. I do. I like the government when they say, do you ever stop with these forest fires? Can you ever stop? They got to manage the forest, you know. They talk it's all sorts of reasons. They got to manage the forest. Manage it. It's called forest management. But they got to stop. They got to stop. And now they have a new thing. They're running out of water. And you know they've run out of electricity. They have brownouts, blackouts. What's going on? A lot of people are leaving. They're leaving for Texas. They're leaving for Texas. They're leaving for Florida. They're leaving for places that are really worried. But it's very interesting. A big thing the other day. They're going to ration their water in California. And I feel so bad. Oh, do you have a drought? No. You know what they do? Millions of gallons an hour come down from the north. Pour down, pour down. So they have so much, right? They have so much water. But they route it into the Pacific Ocean because they have a smelt, right? Is it a smelt? How's that for a country? There's no problem there. There's a little tiny, and it's been having difficulty over the last long time with water, without water. It's having difficulty. But they want to save the smelt. And in saving the smelt, they're destroying human lives. And they're destroying the farmers. And even Los Angeles, the homes. So they have a thing where they're bringing it down ultimately to 42 gallons a person. And that sounds like a lot. Look, if somebody said you could have 42 gallons a person, I think a day, it sounds like a lot. It's not. It's like a quick shower and let's wash your hands. Then they have a mandate, wash your hands at all times. You must always constantly wash. And they say 42 gallons. Wait a minute. Okay, I gotta be up. I won't take a shower for the next couple of weeks. No, it's true. So 42 gallons, it sounds like a lot, but it's really not. A friend of mine, he has this massive house. He says, I'm not gonna be able to take a shower. I live in a house, it's a gorgeous house, right? Can't take a shower. Wash your hands every hour. Every 15 minutes. You know what I did? I'll tell you this crazy thing. So you know what bothers me? When you go into a new hotel, a new house, they have these faucets, right? And you turn them when the water comes out. Even if you live in like North Carolina, you live in areas where, up in New England, you live, most of our country has so much water we don't know what to do with it. The problem is how do you get rid of it? But they do for, like the desert, like here, but they do for areas that are a little bit tougher for water. But even you have the water. So they do it. So they come up with this one regulation for all the country. So you go into a hotel or you buy a house, and they have what's called a restrictor. Yeah, they're all nodding. Same thing, by the way, same thing with your dishwasher. I freaked that out too. The dishwashers, they had a little problem. They didn't give enough water. Like, so people would run them 10 times. So they end up using more water. And the thing's no damn good. We freed it up. Now you can buy a dishwasher. It comes out. It's beautiful. Go buy a dishwasher. I said, what's wrong with this thing? It doesn't clean the dishes, right? The women come up to me. The women who they say don't like me, they actually do like me a lot. Suburban women, please vote for me. I'm saving your house. I'm saving your community. I'm keeping your crime way down. I keep hearing, no, they keep, it's all fake stuff. Remember they said last time about women. Women will never vote. You will never vote for Donald Trump. They'll never vote. Then at the end of the evening, they're all crying, oh my God, what happened? Remember John King? What's going on over here? Yeah, the red. He won Florida. Oh, he won Florida. It wasn't that I won Florida, I won it like fast. And by the way, we're way up in Florida. We've done a great job. The children have done a great job. We've done things for Florida that nobody thought could ever be done. But anyway, John King, so he's up there. He won Florida. Quick. But the big, when we went to Ohio, because did you ever hear for a year and a half, when we were thinking about doing this, you cannot win unless you win the great state of Ohio. You heard that 100 times. They were doing that for me. Shtick. And then I get these polls. I have great people in Ohio. They said, sir, you're going to win Ohio. You don't even have to come back. You're going to win Ohio. By the way, they said that to me again just recently. But they said you cannot win. So we end up winning Ohio by 8 points. And it wasn't that we won Ohio, but the polls closed at 7 o'clock. And at 7 o'clock in 1 second, because you know, unless you win big, Michael, right? You have to, you know, they keep you waiting. So the polls have closed in the great state of Ohio. Donald Trump has won the state of Ohio. They kept saying I was in. Yeah, good. They said I was in. I'll tell you how accurate their polls were 4 years ago. I was down in 9 states the day of the election. I won all 9 states. Other than that, they were quite accurate. Actually, this time they're much better. You want to know the truth. This time they're actually much better. No, but we're doing much better. And as I said, we have much more enthusiasm now. But anyway, getting back to my very boring story about faucets and dishwashers. So I said to the head, I called up great dishwasher company from Ohio that we saved, by the way. I said, what's the problem with the dishwasher? I went, well, they don't give us any water. I mean, you know, it'd be nice to be able to get enough water. What's the problem? We need more water. Not that much, but give more. Like I said, how much you need? He goes, would you like more? Well, I'd love more. Would you give us more? I'll give you more. You have so much water, you don't know what to do with it, right? So we gave them what they need. And now the dishwashers are incredible. They work beautiful. And you go one time, and you come back and your dishes are nice and beautiful and clean and dry. You don't have to go 10 times. The same thing with the restrictors in the faucet. So, I hate to say the 3 things. It's the shower, it's the sink, and you know the third element in the bathroom. But I don't say it, because every time I say it, they only talk about that one. Because it's sort of gross to talk about that. So I won't talk about the fact that people have to flush their toilet 15 times. I will not talk about it. I'll only talk about showers, and okay, but there is 3 things. I won't talk about it. This way they can't report it. So what happens? I called my people, environmental people, why are we doing this? Because when you wash your hands, it takes you 5 times longer. You know, the water's up. You get soap, you can't get it up. I said, open it up. They said, what do you mean, take the restrictors off? People know. And if you're out here, you got to be careful, and you got to do all the things you've been doing anyway. Take the restrictors off. And you may leave it in certain areas where you might need it, but most of the country, big portion, it doesn't need it. Then on the shower, the worst. You ever get into a shower where no water comes in? And me, I want that hair to be so beautiful. Some of these hotels, you know, when you travel, I go into these hotels and they say, do a nice job, it's not that full. And I get in there and say, oh, I can look at it now, I know everything. I say, oh, here we go. Turn on the water, drip, drip. And now, you go into a shower and the water pours down. You go into a sink and you can wash your hands very nicely, beautiful. And the third thing, don't worry about it. Just one time, that's all. So I'm not just running against Biden, but you watch, they'll be talking about the third thing. I've done this before. And they never even talk about sinks and showers. So I never talk to you. You'll see how dishonest they are. But I'm running against a left-wing media, big tech giants, and a corrupt political class, and a corrupt Democratic Party. You see what they did? They spied on my campaign and got caught. They tried to take down the President of the United States. But they went after the wrong president. Let me tell you something. I really believe that somebody said it just today. Any other president would not have been able to withstand. In a corner with their thumb in their mouth saying, please take me home to mommy, please. These people are evil. Even Shift today, you know Shifty Shift? Did you hear the new one? I was waiting for this. So they find this horrible laptop of Hunter. Where's Hunter? Where's Hunter? But Joe is far more corrupt than Hunter. This Joe never just getting a piece of everything. They have it in the email, 10% and 50%. But Joe is far more corrupt than Hunter. But what happens is, they say, where's Hunter? And they see what's going on. Everybody's looking for him. Everybody wants to find. And all we're hearing is that you can't talk about this kind of thing. You can't talk. Can you imagine if that were Don Trump Jr.'s laptop? Or Eric Trump was such a fun, these are good kids, but they have just been brutalized by these maniacs. Or what about our great Ivanka Trump? Giffen, even Barron, right? Barron. No, they're all good kids. But can you imagine? You know, Barron had the problem. Okay? He got healed in about 15 seconds, right? You got to understand that. You know, the young kids, was it 99.9 something? They said Barron tested positive. Even I wasn't worried. You know, he's strong. He's definitely tall. He's tall. And he's a good kid. He's a good kid. He's a smart kid. But they said, sir, Barron tested positive. At first he said, oh. I said, well, is he okay? Yeah. Are you going to give him anything? No. Like 2 seconds later, I said, how's Barron? Oh, he's all set. I hate to say it, they have a much stronger immune system than we do. I hate to say that. You know? I said, congratulations, Barron. I said, that was quick. I said, how did it feel? I don't know. But the Democrats and this horrible group of people, they have nothing but disdain for you and for your values. They lecture you on the need for open borders while they live behind gated communities like Nancy Pelosi. She doesn't want a wall, but she lives in this very beautiful house with lots of good ice cream. They support crippling lockdowns while their jobs remain totally exempt. They keep your kids out of school while their kids and their families have private tutors. They want to take away your guns. They want to destroy your Second Amendment while they employ arms. And it's time that we send them a very strong message because they're hypocrites in Washington, D.C. and in Silicon Valley. And in Silicon Valley. Section 230, or election day. Not everybody understands that, but we have some great politicians here today that understand that. But on election day, you can send a message to the fake news media right there, to the big tech companies, and to the Washington swamp. We never knew it could be this deep. When I said, drain the swamp, I didn't know it was this bad. But send them a message that they will never forget. Show them that the American people are still in charge by delivering Sleepy Joe Biden and the Democrats a thundering defeat on the right. And if I don't sound like a typical Washington politician, it's because I am If I do not always play by the rules of the Washington establishment, it's because I was elected to fight for you. I can't believe it. And they don't, you know, we got lucky.
About 45 minutes into speech so far.
Just like we want them to show up. They don't want them. I love watching those circles. He's got those big, they're so well done. The best thing about his campaign is the guy who won the business. There's a lot of talent. They're perfect. Yeah, I'm into like, I'm a perfectionist, right? I am. It's always a good building. Look at those circles, very thick. And very far apart. I think you got about 6 of them, because that's the number of people that show up. This way you can say, we were sold out today. I'm fighting against forces who want to destroy everything that you love and cherish. People think of Joe Biden as a nice man, but he's not a nice man. No, he's not a nice man. He's never a nice man. And he was never a smart man. He got lucky. He got lucky that Pocahontas didn't quit earlier. And he's not a good man. He's a corrupt man. And he took an ad against me knowing it was false. You probably know the ad. It's a horrible, vicious ad having to do with the military. It's a totally false, horrible, horrible ad. And nobody has ever done more for the military than I have. And we advised him and his group of dishonest cronies, legally and every other way. We advised them, and we let them know. We're putting complaints in all over the place. But he took a vicious, vicious, horrible ad of something I never said. It was a magazine that's an Obama-type magazine with Obama and Biden and crooked Hillary. It's a third, I won't even mention it, third-rate magazine, loses a fortune. And they made up a story. And they said I said certain things. There's no human being on earth, unless they're seriously, seriously deranged, that would say such a thing. And I said it in front of other soldiers. And I have 26, I think, witnesses saying, it's ridiculous. Number one, you wouldn't need any witnesses. Nobody would say anything like that. But we said it never happened. They have no witnesses. They have, I think, an anonymous source. But the source doesn't exist. It was made up. It was made up just like the Russia bullshit was made up. And now it's in television commercials, like I said it. And frankly, if I were a military person, and if I saw that ad, I would never vote for Trump. And I told my people, this is a very serious thing. They took a statement, made up a statement, just like they do. That's what they do. They're vicious, horrible people. They made up a statement, and now they put ads in during a football game. I see an ad. I'm watching the game. I mean, I must tell you, I'm not into football so much anymore. Hard to watch. I love people that honor our anthem and honor